stuff out of those jurisdictions so that they have no more, or we're not called wards of the state anymore.
No estates. No estate deals, so it's not a ward of the estate.
And we have to get out of the realm of being stateless. We have to claim our nationality. We have to know our nation and claim our nationality. You know, it's very, very important.
Pay attention, y'all.
So we should look at our heritage. Maybe I don't know.
Exactly. You have to know where you come from, and you have to know your story. I'm not gonna say your history. I'm gonna say your story, your genetic story. It is important for you to know your genetic story, and it is important for you to know history as well, because history has a lot of our stories inside of it, and it's important that we tap into this information so that we know how to navigate our lives.
So okay, so that would dictate, how they proceed going forward, right? Say I'm a Native American, right? That will dictate how they proceed, right?
Exactly. But watch this. I'm gonna be right back. Because you mentioned Native American. Let me go get my documents. I want to read something to you right quick. I'll be right back.
I love it. Come on, let's bring some knowledge. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So she done got some shit, and I feel like she's gonna got some more. If you guys didn't hear anything, I know what it goes.
Break it up,
baby. You're breaking. Yeah, you're breaking up. But you're breaking up. Sorry.
But I feel like Sister Research will drop some pay attention because this is some stuff. I don't know. It should have been locked. But pay attention when she's talking some facts example to somebody about what she's talking about.
You breaking up some, babe.
Yeah, she's breaking up pretty bad. Yeah. And I'll tell you this, Ayoka. My son just dug up, my old pictures and going back to 1800s, because I'm Portuguese, so he dug all that up, and I was like, how did the hell did you pick that up? But anyway, I'm just trying to clear out the garble. You got 3 messages?
No, it's a message.
Yeah, chit chat. I didn't know you was a black diaspora. I was born a Jehovah's Witness, and so I got older and started making my own decisions.
That's cool.
So they don't believe in blood transfusions for sure, and there's a lot of us they don't believe.
Okay, I'm back. So.
Okay.
I'm back. All right.
I'm
all right.
I don't want to get off of a topic with each book's
No,
I have right here, but she said some things that pretty hit, and I want to be able to answer your question very thoroughly. Each of us on how to get out of the jurisdiction, which I did pretty much with your question, but then Sandman mentioned about the Native American states. And so it's something for us to be able to tap into the United States Department of Interior through Indian Affairs, even though we're not Indians, right? We are natives or indigenous, right? But this is how they word it. And so there's a particular codex that goes along with connecting when it comes to us connecting ourselves back as indigenous through their particular system. And that codex is MS-4606-MIB. Some people may not understand, the codexes that goes along with it when you are sending in your documents or to the appropriate departments when it comes to those particular states. But it's very, very important. changing your status, claiming your nation, all very important. And you can even do this through the Social Security Administration as well. You can also do this through E-Verify as well. You can also do this through the IRS 56 form, as well.
Really? Wow.
Yes, most definitely. And when you begin to do these things, like I am North American, right? So with my credentials and what I have as an Alodio, I went to Walmart and I gave them my codex, my nation's codex, which is AA222141. And when I gave them that, showed them my travel document and my national identification, I then became non-exempt. I didn't need a non-for-profit or a religious document in order to become exempt.
You breaking it up, Sister Research.
Okay.
You became non-existent? Is that what you said? Did I hear that?
Am I better?
Yes, you are now.
Am I clearer?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So me going through the process myself to make a better life, create a better life, or reinvent myself in such a way is what I did, but not just for myself, but for my children too. And I obtained my Alodio American National Identification Card, as well as my travel document when it comes to my nation. And so I went to Walmart, and when I went to Walmart, I gave them my codex, which I stated as AA222141, which is tax exempt when you go to these stores. So now when I go grocery shopping at Walmart, when I go grocery shopping at Kroger's, I am tax exempt. I don't pay taxes. Now I seek to go even further, and this is why it's so important for us to study about what it is that we seek, that we want, or even to network, right? I'm networking with Egypt Wolf. I'm networking with Chit Chat. I'm networking with Sandman because I'm up here on the panel with them in communication. But Egypt Wolf and I, we chit chat on the back end, deep communication, sharing links and information with one another, and this type of information right here is just so very important to tap into.
That's what I want to hear. Absolutely.
Gaining a relationship with the IRS is very important because when you go and you retrieve their forms, certain forms or all of their forms, they happen to be some type of account numbers. It's important for you to know how important it is for you to have if you don't or choose not to pay as an indigenous. Indigenous are not supposed to be paying taxes because the lands is our inheritance. So,
but
we're not.
Isn't there proof? Isn't there proof that's required?
It's required for some. 14th Amendment citizens is required, but not the sovereigns. For sovereigns, it is not required. And sometimes sovereigns can make be not fully informed on the proper documents to actually fill out and complete so that lawfully you are protected. And so that is the 9-8 or the SS4 form, which is called a foreign trust. If one chooses not to pay state taxes, that protects you. Why? Because that form is through the IRS. And so you put them on notice with, I am an indigenous and this is my foreign trust. And this is my information that I'm putting here. And so now you don't pay state taxes. If you don't want to pay federal taxes, there's a form called the W8BEN that is also with the IRS. It is very
W8BN.
Yeah, W8, the number 8, B
yes.
as in EN.
Because I lived in Mojave Desert, and I lived with the Cherokee Nation in Oklahoma. Now,
you're supposed to be into the funds by now.
Grand Rising, everyone.
Grand Rising, Victoria.
Right.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm, out of time, bro.
So,
Yes, Grand Rising.
Grand Rising, everyone. Okay. Well,
How you doing?
Okay. Sorry, guys.
But thank you for the information. And, appreciate you. No,
I
really
don't want to
do.
cut you off. Everybody missed what Sister Research said. Go back to the recorded listen because it is so important about filling out the right form for the right. Be like, okay, you have to fill out a form and you have to have proof of this. You can't just be saying, "Oh, I'm
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we have to have proof, right?
Yeah.
So how?
And you have to fill out the right form too. You can't just be like, "I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that." All right. Oh, but so we have 3 messages though. Go ahead, Chit-Chat.
I got 3 friends that are drunk as a motherfucker.
How would you go about obtaining respect? You get what I'm saying? What would be the key to you obtaining respect? I mean, as for me, it had to be the way I carry myself. And I don't demand respect. It's just that I'm gonna give a lot of it. Just right off top.
You earned it, I think.
And that's, I don't need to know you to have a respect for general man and mankind. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So that's a question that I think will tie into why people are disrespectful. Get where I'm coming from?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still feel Chris.
Picking up what you're putting down, bro. I like that.
How do you gain respect? There's 5 principles that more by or the Morse community or me as a merc, we have principles. It's called love, 5 of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
Yes, I've heard that before. Yeah, absolutely.
As long as we're navigating within those 5 principles right there should be respect for ourselves, because we're utilizing and navigating those principles. And then also, as we are sharing those principles with others, or it is within our very sphere or within our very action or our aura, we're resonating that particular frequency or those frequencies, respect will come to us. But sometimes we move too fast. Sometimes we move too fast.
I agree. Yes, you're right.
And then sometimes we demand. There's a demand on respect. First we must respect ourselves. And then after we respect ourselves, then we must live within the very principles or laws that we understand, like the universal laws, the cosmic laws. We must understand ourselves and live within that, and then others will respect us the same, because we're going to distribute that type of energy out or disperse that energy out. And so what we get back is what we gave, because we're very magnetic species. So if you give out respect, then you're going to receive it. It's going to come right back to you.
That's true. That is so true. Yeah, you're right. Yep. You're right. Yeah. What you give back, it's going to come back at you. If you come back, if you give out negative is going to come back at you. Give out positive, pay it forward, and help somebody else.
We have we got another message.
Okay. It's important to have those things according to the majority, because they want security. All of those documents that you name represent security. Oh, it's a Dr. Bay that's down there. I've been meaning to say that on every message, but that's for security purposes. I was having a talk on my YouTube channel, and that's what the homegirl said. She said, I'm not getting married without going to the courthouse. because I'm gonna protect
Get to the core.
my benefits. And so
Yeah,
I think that comes with security. And when you're okay with the way the system is going for you, well then, hey, you'll live with it until something happens to the system that affects you. You get what I'm saying with that? And that's the problem that we have.
Oh, I have a question for Sister Research. But
Okay.
so my question is, how would me or anybody get married without this might be a little bit off topic too, but Chris brought up something that made me think of something. But anyways, how would I get married without the marriage certificate?
Now that right there is an awesome question. That's something that I am even learning because I am married. And so I know that there's a sovereign process. And so I'm actually researching that process myself.
Okay.
Because I know that the marriage certificate is another instrument within commerce or commercial law. I do know that. And I do know that they benefit off of it where, the married couples is not. And then that we are putting ourselves in some sort of contract. Dr. Bay, do you have more information on marriage? Why, how to lose a marriage license, but still to become the consort? See if Dr. Bay maybe knows that question to Jeff. But that's an awesome question because I'm actually in position, like I'm researching myself.
You know who you can talk to? I don't know if you could get to if Dr. Bay comes through or not, but you can also talk Malik Bay. He's not on stereo anymore. You might have to see if you could contact him on Instagram or something.
Are you talking about MER 7?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I just got off the phone with MER 7. Like,
no way.
I know him too. Yeah.
I haven't called him in a long time. I have to call him again.
Yeah, I just got up. It was like 8 something when I was on the phone with him. Y'all stay connected with that MER right there. He's the one that was actually had let me know about how not to pay state taxes and federal taxes with the SS4 and WBE. That's MER 7 right there. That's his knowledge.
He also told me about that too, but it goes in one and come out the other. It never registered, but that's how I knew when he was about to drop some gems because he tells me a lot of very useful information.
Yes. So, and you know what? You can tap in with him on Clubhouse because I told him I was like, Bert, we gotta go on Clubhouse because we being about this information. We're just not talking about this information. We're being about this information, and we want to help other people to be able to get themselves free from the tyranny behaviors that we are experiencing within these jurisdictions. We want to be able to do that. So you can connect with MER 7 on Clubhouse as well because he's on Clubhouse now.
Okay, so Clubhouse is free. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, this is not off a subject because this is basically why it's talking about spirituality, but also talking about religion. Why people don't respect it because it's certain factors like if you does like for me, I'm in my spiritual journey. I'm still learning about a lot of stuff, but the stuff I was taught, I don't even agree with. I never agree with it. So just like the death certificate.
You mean Jehovah's Witness stuff?
No, I was Christian. I was raised Christian and Baptist.
All right. Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I left the religion alone for different reasons, and that's a whole nother.
I know. That's a whole nother topic.
A whole nother show. But But what I was saying was, since I've been on my spiritual journey, I'm starting to see like, okay, how can I, I want to get married, but I don't want the marriage certificate. I don't want that. I don't want the government all in my business. So I want to take them out much as I can. You have to. You don't have to, but I suggest that you talk to Malik Bey, because he can definitely break it down for you. I would have to let him know who you are and what.
Let me text Murph. Let me text him and see what he's doing right now. Because he got off of here. So
are you gonna get married? You gonna get married, Wolf?
Yeah, I want to get married, but the thing is, I don't want the marriage certificate. I don't want
you
the
don't want that tag. You want that tag on you.
I want my stuff to be what I want. I don't even want a will. I just want my stuff wrote into a letter. I don't even want a will. That stuff too. He can tell you all about that. I don't even want a will. Like I don't. Yeah, but he told me not to get a whip. He told me some other stuff. I have to go back and ask him because I don't want
a whip. A whip.
And people don't understand people with disabilities, right? And I know this is off too. People don't understand what people with disabilities that they like their parents can get a guardianship of them. I don't want one day. I'm trying to let my parents not get guardianship of me because I would have been in super trouble if I did what I but it's it's a different reason for different folks. But like, just don't want like I want to. At the end of the day, my own saying, my own word. By the end of the day, so
you're an independent woman. She's an independent woman, and she will make her own decisions.
Anything was to happen to me, I will have the last word.
Okay. There you go. Because you're a fighter.
Okay.
Okay, y'all. I'm back in the truck now. Okay, got my glasses on. Why do people do not respect people's beliefs? Meditation table talk. I mean, it's a lot of different reasons why people don't believe people's beliefs, because they want them to believe what they believe. What they think is right in their minds, what they believe. But hey, y'all, I want y'all to check out Mr. Jennings.
They want to impose that on somebody else.
Pastor Jennings. Check him out on YouTube. Listen to what he be saying. His name again is Gino Jennings, pastor. He's the Pastor Jennings. Check him out, y'all. He's a real pastor right there. But hey, I want y'all to find out for yourself. But hey, y'all, have a wonderful Saturday. I'm out. 60 seconds.
Let me run through these other two messages, because Dr. Bell.
Power up. Right honors to all my family, the beloved empresses, Brother Sandman, honors to y'all, all my family in the chamber. Family, I'm not sure to what context y'all were questioning about the marriage thing, yet I do hear that y'all are aware that it is part of a contract, and you could literally only contract in that way if your status is of that of a U.S. citizen. And the ways out of that or around that is definitely by declaring your nationality, acknowledging that you are a autonomous being from the Most High, and you have the right to contract. Most of it is trust law, and you have the right to set up any contract and the stipulations of that contract for yourself. We're not aware of that because we've been taught that we have to be dependent on the way things.
Yeah, hold on. He got one more.
Well, the way things are structured for the general public.
What's up,
Yet correcting your status or actually declaring your status, it
it definitely changes that narrative, and you're not bound by certain things or limitations, and you actually step outside of benefits and privileges and into rights, and you have the right to contract, especially in spousal situations and things like that. And a lot of your assets in trust and stuff like that, instead of taking the license and everything in that marriage becomes a party to the state, or the state is a third party because it's dealing with you as property, as wards of the state, and wards of the state can only generate more property for the title holders. So I'm not sure if that taps into what y'all were seeking. Y'all definitely let me know. So
Yes, it definitely does tap into what we're seeking. Shout out to you, Dante. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? He just reminded me of what. Okay, so don't get me wrong and don't quote me if I'm saying this right, but I think, you know what? Never mind. I'm
No,
speak your mind, please. Of all, please speak your mind. Because
speak your mind. There you
I
go,
hate
bro.
to be wrong. No, I hate to be wrong. And okay, so if I remember correctly, and anybody could correct me if I'm wrong, I think he told me that me and my partner could write a contract to each other and go to City Hall and have it signed. And that's good enough, you know? You don't have to have that thing. That's it. That's if. Yeah, but I'm gonna ask him again just to make sure.
Go ahead.
I'm telling y'all something.
Just, maybe a notary or something. I don't know.
But it's just that I need to write this stuff down when he tells me this stuff.
I need to write this.
Yeah, it's important, but what Dr. May was saying too as well is very important too, because like if one goes to the hospital,
It's legally important. Absolutely.
And lawfully too. Well, one want to make sure, because like if one goes to the hospital, like say a married couple was together and then something happens to one of them and they go to the hospital, they're going to say immediate family only, right? So they're going to ask, are you his wife? Are you her husband?
Yep, that's true. You're right.
So having appropriate documentation, like Dr. Bay was saying, it comes with nationality. And when it comes to sovereignty, there's a sovereign marriage. And we don't call each other like husband and wives. We are being consorts of one another. And so that, when it comes to contract law, is what Dr. Bay was making mention of. Is like what you just said, Chit-Chat, Verse 7 said, is write the contract with one another, saying, hey, this is who we are to one another, and signing it, and then putting it inside of a trust, right? Like Dr. Bay was talking about.
The old trust.
Dr. Bay was just making mention of that. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Now it's coming back to me. Okay. Yeah. But can we I'm about to tip my tongue what I'm about to say. But can we have a shaman marry us if we spiritual? Can we have a shaman marry us?
Of course, shamans, when you're in your tribe, within your tribe, I'm not sure if it's a shaman that married or not. I'm not sure of that.
That's what I was wondering too. You're right.
But okay, sister research is okay. So it's not going to be a pastor either, right?
Well, because I have a ministerial license or ordination, I would utilize mine, but then by utilizing mine, the way that it's set right now, we'll put that being inside of that jurisdiction with a license. And that's the reason why I'm learning how to do it the sovereign way, because there's a sovereign way of being connected with one another or contracted with one another without having to contract self with there's a way to do that. So with this license, is me saying that even with the infant estates, you know, and a marriage license, this is something that I'm self-learning so that I can teach others as I'm a product of that same situation, and I can teach others as I'm getting myself out.
Sovereign means USA, basically, and that's right. Focus over there, and it has to be legal, but.
No, to be sovereign.
If you're a Native American,
wait. Let's just the research talk. Hold on.
No, to be sovereign is not USA. To be sovereign first is a mindset. You have to know who you are, and mentally you have to stand in within who you are as being separated from the United States as state.
Separated.
You're separated. Yeah, you have to separate yourself from that jurisdiction of the United States. To be sovereign in your capacity is claiming exactly who you are as a free man. It's being without. It's being the governor of your own estate and not being governed by a state.
So the sovereign territory is where?
The sovereign territory begins with you. It's within you. Because we're cosmic beings. And because we're cosmic energetic beings, that's the sovereignty right there. That's the beginnings of our sovereignty right there. Now when we are in this dimension of earth, and we are manifesting into the physical realm like we are, and we're communicating with one another like this, your sovereign capacity or your sovereign status still begins from within you cosmically, understanding your identity to claim who you are, but still separating yourself from multiple jurisdictions like the United Nations, like the United States Department of State, like the United States Department of Justice, like the Supreme Courts of the United States, like the United States Department of Treasury, like the United States Department of Home
you can't be
Security.
included in them.
Right, you have to separate yourself and place them on notice that you are a living being.
Shoot, I got all of them covered. FBI, Homeland Security, but yeah. No, I understand what you're talking about. Yeah.
So, okay. So when it comes down to our children, right? And I see this a lot, but when it comes to our children, our babies, right? Like when we spiritual, we supposed to spiritually protect them. Cause I know that's how I see it. But some people say like they should do a certain way or a certain thing. I don't know. But anyway, cause you know how they supposed to commit their child, but it's different ways that different spiritual people do different things. So
that is so true, and I protect my children utilizing the stars, the planes, the celestials, the galaxies.
So let me ask you what you consider yourself, as a USA or as a just a sovereign universe,
What I claim myself to be
yes. What do you claim?
Is an allodial American national. Is a Moroccan. Is an Asiatic.
A Moroccan.
Yes, an American Moor.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm open to anything. I'm telling you. You know what I mean? I've been to 26 countries. I've been all over the world. And so Iran, Iraq, and Turkey, Israel. So I'm trying to understand but I think I'm getting a better understanding of you. So, thank you.
Okay. If you have any other questions, if I can answer, I'll answer. If not, I'm gonna call for Dr. Bay. Who's in the audience right there.
You can't call the doctor.
That's right. Shout out to Dog Bay. Power up. Shout out to Dog Bay. Power up.
Yeah. I'll be showing
Gratitude.
gratitude.
Hey, you know, I don't hold back on anything. So, but yeah, if you get two messages, that's very good. And you're all good people. I definitely appreciate you.
Yes, Empress Chit Chat. That is all you would actually have to do, and you could even bypass the need for going to get a public notary by having three witnesses of other nationals. Now, the key to it is that we have to realize that until you actually take the steps and declare, which is the first step, declare your proper status, because status is everything that determines jurisdiction. And the second step is proclaiming your status, which means that you're going to put those on notice that previously had a particular jurisdiction over you as property, and you're declaring that you're no longer that type of property. So now you're functioning within your rights. So you definitely have the right to do that. And the way you put it on record, you take it down to the county recorder's office and you put it on the record, and it becomes law.
Okay, that makes sense. But where's the definition of the people that you've dealt with over the years, and to go down to the office and say, "Hey, this is where I declare." What would it be that I need?
Okay, we got another message.
I'm sorry if I'm making things too difficult.
This message and this conversation, it definitely speaks to a message that I'm often trying to promote out here, which is wholeness and balance. You know, we have so many different perspectives, so many different mindsets, ideologies, belief systems, narratives, things like that. Yet, if we are to coexist and to progress in that coexistence, we definitely have to be willing to allow, accept, and honor everyone's position. Even if you disagree with it, you still honor that position because it is part of the whole. It is a piece of the puzzle. And unless your authority extends beyond the source of all things, then you're definitely not qualified to be making any condemnation or judgment of those that may not be in the same space for a particular piece.
And that's a good point. You're right.
Wow, Dr. Bay. Yep.
Dropping them gems. Shout out to Dog Bay.
And as far as the question the brother Sandman asked, as far as what is self, self actually is an acronym that stands for Sacred Eternal Life Force. That is know thyself. Self-accountability, self-awareness. Know thyself. Honestly, y'all definitely miss building with y'all. And
No, I understand. I get you.
We'll be doing a lot more of it.
Thank you for that.
Much love to y'all. Definitely continue the path, and let's all be willing to continuously grow. Power is the people. Let's grow, family.
Gratitude.
So true. So true.
Is the people. That's right, Dr.
That's right.
Yeah, the power is the people. All right, let's go. We're in control with this.
Stick to the last question that my brother Sandman asked about. Where would you declare? The first step of correcting your status and declaring your nationality is between you, self, and the Most High. That's the declaring part. You have to declare it within you. It's between you and your inner source being. The second step would be proclaiming. Now, the proclaiming is the process where you would take it. You would take that affidavit, that writ, that notice. You would take it to the county recorder's office. And then once you get that sealed in the county recorder's office, you send it to them certified receipt return. means that they have to sign for it, which serves as lawful proof that they received it. And then you would send it to the different agencies, starting with the Secretary of State and so forth and so on, several different entities. And you're not asking for permission. You're not asking for acceptance. You're informing them. That's what putting on notice means, not asking.
That's good info. And so they have to return to you the document that you sent to them.
Yeah, once it's authenticated, they'll send the documents back to you.
Okay. All right.
That's some good. That's some good knowledge. I love knowledge.
Good knowledge.
Yes, Dog Bay got some knowledge. She's always dropping gems. Yes.
I love knowledge. I love.
We're digging deep, but I appreciate you, Dr. Bay. I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much.
I learned a lot from Dr. Bay too in my journey within this realm right here. I learned so much from Dr. Bay. He gave like so much information, like PDFs and links and stuff like that. So if y'all interested in like learning very deeply, like part of this type of topic right here, make sure that you tap in with Dr. Bay. That can definitely give you a wide range of information. Also, if you're interested in learning how to authenticate or how to change your status utilizing your birth certificate by claiming your certificate of live birth, we will begin on August 8th within a telegram that I created for those like-minded individuals that is interested in also doing that. We'll also be communicating on how to use other means of resources on how to correct your ethnicity as well, utilizing governmental codexes and websites to be able to do that as well.
And that's so important, and you're right, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that knowledge, and you know what I mean, understanding of what things we don't know.
Yeah, much love to you, Sandman.
Man, I'm gonna piggyback. Like words are so powerful, and that's the reason why I stopped using the Q word and the K word. I stopped using the words. I use goddess and warrior because I want to show respect. Not even that, respect to y'all. So I used to say it back in my later chats, but I don't say that no more. So yeah.
No, because you learn a little, you learn something, you know what I mean? And now you don't want to use the Q word.
That man ain't gonna shut up.
What's the other word?
I don't use the Q word and I don't use the K word for different reasons. If y'all know the words,
good for you though. Good for you. Because
y'all know.
Your experience.
I do not use those. When I greet women, I say goddess. If I meet men, I say warrior. So
yeah. You know what? And we gotta respect each other, and I think that's we don't always know everything about everything, and so man. Dr. Bay coming on. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to talk over you. And Agent Wolf and Chit Chat.
I feel like it's a each one teach one situation because we always learning.
Yeah, Chit Chat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anybody that knows in the spiritual community what I'm saying, y'all know. I just don't say that. Y'all know.
No, because you don't want to press on anybody.
It's not
if you don't mind me.
It just don't. The worst doesn't. It's not
it goes.
Yeah,
It's
it
way-
goes
it's not
way
pleasing.
further than stepping on somebody's toes or
It's not
or something.
pleasing.
Yeah.
It's not
All right.
pleasing.
All right.
It's
All
not
right. Yeah.
pleasing.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah. Absolutely. That makes sense.
And what they got it meant is not pleasing. So what's to say?
I ain't trying to change you, and yeah, hopefully you're not trying to change me. But
No,
it's just
no.
our opinion.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's just
Exactly.
something that I don't. I just say it's just something that I don't say. So if you know when I call you warrior, that's just because I don't say the K word.
A word. What is it?
King.
King.
She doesn't use the word king.
No, I don't say that.
King or queen.
No, I don't.
Oh shit! My email is king.
I stopped saying that a long time ago.
My
I
man.
stopped. Words are powerful, and I choose to respect people with a high standards and high vibration and no disrespect, but I just don't use them two words.
Hey, I love you all. I mean, I appreciate your disclosure and talking to stuff like this. You know, it's a great thing, and hopefully our kids will get passed down to that. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's that's the reason why I don't say it's a lot of reasons, but I don't say the T word. I don't say yeah. I say gratitude.
Great. Okay. Well, I love that word. Gratitude is a great voice.
Words are powerful. Words are very, very powerful. People don't understand. Some people don't understand, but words are very powerful. Words are very powerful and we just have to watch certain things that we say because it could mean other things.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I'm
tapping
saying.
into etymology,
sorry.
like what Egypt was saying, like words is very powerful and they have other meanings. We can literally go on the Google search engine and go to dictionaries. There's an abundance of dictionaries, and they will say that this one word means this. But if you go to the etymology dictionary is going to give you the origin of what that word actually means versus what it's saying, what it's telling you on the Google search right there. So etymology is very important to tap into so that you know the origin from which that word came from, what nation that word was created from, what they meant by it, and then you know exactly what you're saying from that point on.
It's so important. You're right. It's
just different things, like like I said, whatever you believe in, spiritual journey, it's just like I said, I'm just being transparent. On my spiritual journey, I'm just learning how to relearn things, and I might don't know everything, but the stuff I'm doing, letting spirit teaches me that certain things I'm learning, and I'm seeing that the stuff I used to say, I don't say anymore. Because it has a different meaning. And a lot of stuff where we say it doesn't, we don't know, it's just what we got taught. And when we find out what it's not really to say, it's not to say at all.
right. And you know what? You're right on course on that too. So
messed his head up. She messed mine up. Did she mess y'all head up?
I feel comfortable talking to you. The wolf.
Yes.
Yes, I want to say that this was a wonderful talk. I learned a lot, especially from Sister Research and Bay dropping in those messages. People should respect other people's spiritual beliefs. Just because you don't believe one thing another person doesn't make that person necessarily right or wrong. And that's all I have to say.
No, that's absolute. That's absolute right. You know, you can't judge people on their ideas or whatever they think. But at the same time, if it's detrimental, you know what I mean, and they want to beat the hell out of somebody, nah, you don't do that.
Exactly.
So, what about you, Chit Chat? You got anything to say? To add on? Chit Chat.
Any other dudes out here? I feel like I'm the only dude up in here.
I ain't getting up
Yeah,
there
you
so
are.
crazy. Yeah. Ain't nobody getting up there so crazy.
Doc Bailey's up in here a little bit.
Yeah, Doc Bay ain't going up there.
But
He
Bigger.
crazy as hell.
Bigger, where you been, man?
It's very powerful. This conversation. We probably will have a part 2 to the show because I know we got a lot of things to be shared, a lot of stuff to decode.
What's the next topic? What's the next topic? What you got? What you got?
Next topic. They finna go.
But anyway, listen. Okay, back to what I was saying. We had a beautiful topic. We had an amazing topic. It was powerful. We all learned from something from one of each another.
When we get that message.
It was really good. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to the listeners. Hope everybody having a nice day today. Just came through real quick to tap in. Feel me?
Good stuff.
Shout out to you, Shay.
Good Shay.
Shout out to you, Shay. Yeah, this has been a good talk. I know I caught the end of it, but the information and the knowledge that I received, I'm definitely going to take it in and even go back and listen to what you guys were even talking about earlier. I think it's very important to figure out and find out about your spirituality.
Yes, and I think you're right, Gloria. You know, whether it's women or men or spirituality or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? There's always a learning process.
Exactly.
Anybody last? Anybody want to add anything? Anybody?
Brothers, come on, man.
I just
Help me.
thank you so much. Thank you, Egypt Wolf, for inviting me to your platform to vibe with you. I so appreciate this build right here. I appreciate this vibe right here. Chit Chat. And, I always get excited. I have to control myself when I'm around Chit Chat. Chit Chat knows that I love her and Tyra's energy. I really love their energy. So I be having to control myself when it's like Chit Chat. I have to control myself.
As long as you put a smile on your face, it's all good to go.
If anybody could put a smile on my face, that would plus in my book. For real.
Yeah. All right.
It's that, man. It's good to hear your tones. It's been a long time since I had
It has been a little bit. Well, I look forward to the next time.
Hold on. Let Chit Chat and Sister Research talk. Hold on.
Victoria, it was awesome vibing with you.